Hello and welcome to the week 2 lecture. I don't always do this, but I feel the need to this time. Because we have some writing assignments, what I'm trying to do with these is to develop critical inquiry, make sure that you start developing your thoughts on literature in an appropriate way for a literary analysis or a literary criticism, and then sort of give you a chance to sort of to quote things and to show proper quotation marks, that sort of a business, that I can provide feedback on, hopefully in a week or two. But so the first week is definitely a literature week, and this week is since we have some literature foundation, we're going to try to write about it as well, because that is just as important as reading. So because we're going to show understanding and hopefully deeper understanding. You'll see the discussion board. You don't have to cite it. I don't need a reference citation, but I do typically enjoy a strong thesis and or topic sentences. I'm not going to get into too much of that because that's more of a writing 101 concern. But I will give this piece of advice. Oftentimes, I will begin my essay and a literary analysis or literary criticism by sort of defining the article that I will be citing from. And so I will often, so for the discussion board, you may want to begin with the sentence, the Montana value of strength or the Montana value of honor, sort of a thing, can be represented in Lois Red Elks, and then put down the article title. And so in that sort of a case, it acts as sort of a function of a topic sentence or a thesis, although a thesis usually comes at the end of an introduction, where you're explicitly showing your two pieces. And so don't get too fancy with introductions or anything of that nature. It's only 175 words, the minimum, and that's a minimum. If you're reaching just the minimum, then it may be underdeveloped, particularly for something that has this much critical inquiry. But I want that really just set right out there. These are the two things I'm looking for, and then get into it. And what you'll want to do is draw comparisons. You'll want to show the lines that demonstrate your quality. So that's for the discussion board. The journal write is actually a bit trickier. 300 words. Again, you don't have to cite. I don't need in-text citations and reference citations, but I do need to see the article that you're pulling from, or not the article, but I do need to see the literature that you're going to pull from. So you'll get to choose one of my Native American poets, Sherman Alexie or Lois Red Elk, and compare or contrast, and that could be a mix of both, your selected poem with the readings from the previous week. So choose an oral tradition story or the types of story. You can have some latitude there. And then focus on components. And so you'll want to compare contrast. What is the time frame? What is the setting? How are they similar? How are they different? And so Sherman Alexie in particular has a lot of comparisons and a lot of contrasts. And sometimes the mix of them is what makes that exciting. And so you can sort of break it into components. You may want to use paragraphs to maybe for a setting, and paragraph for themes, and paragraph for maybe it's just tone. The tones are very different, or they can be very similar, or they can be different and similar. And you can talk about both of those in a tone paragraph. So I'm just looking for if you guys can start to tease these apart and kind of comb through them and develop by showing examples. So hopefully that helps. Have a great week.